It's the kid, it's the kid, it's the kid, it's the kid, it's the kid. Writing in here, trying to live, trying to exist, trying to stay alive, man. So yes, I am bald, fully bald, as you can see. No
Smooth.
hair on my head. I'm trying to live, I'm trying to stay alive around, man. So look, man, how have you guys been? So this is what we'll always do during this whole self-quarantine thing, is just seeing how guys are doing with the whole self-quarantine life, man. So Nix, how's it been, bro?
Yeah, it's been all right, you know. It's not been ain't been terrible. Actually, I was out on Saturday, not party. No, I'm joking. I went to the shop. Did my little essential shop, you know, for rum punch and that. Rum is essential. Rum is essential. Don't let anyone tell you that.
So it has medicinal purposes.
Of course.
So we can assume that you were not doing any Kyle Walkering.
No. No, I reserve that for my humble abode.
You know what's quite funny about that? The girl ran to the papers and saying she's shocked that he's doing things like that. Like, she didn't go. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't go to the man's house to do that. Come on, man.
But yeah, I see there's a madness just around the corner from my house. Like, police must have I think did I put on Twitter? Maybe not. But the police must have stopped a car, blocked off the whole road, smashing the door, the batter and everything. Some people asking me, was it like corona related? Like, was he out and he wasn't supposed to be? I was thinking, come on, everything is not corona.
Yeah.
No. But everybody's gonna link it to it, so that's the whole point. So
you know what?
Light relief for all this going on.
We have to shout out Sadiq Khan, because people getting on him about knife crime. It's non-existent now. He's figured out a way.
Well, listen, I question, and I know this is not a political show. We hear it all the time, innit? Now, are you telling me that knife crime is not happening anymore? Like, that's not how the game works. People are still making their money on the road, innit? So
I think people have just been diverted by this whole COVID thing. Just doesn't mean that it's not been stopped.
When we hear it, is it the fact that are they doing it at that time because they want to put a certain agenda, or is it as, you know, maybe it's not as big as everyone's making it? I don't know, innit? People dying is people dying. It's always big for me, but yeah, it's interesting.
Before I go to Devil, please that's where they say you used to be on Football Terrace. Have you been hiding, Nix? They say you've been hiding.
No, I haven't actually. Terry moved to the sticks, which made things a bit troubling. And yeah, when he called to be a guest back on, I'll be a guest. But no, I haven't been hiding. Come on.
Yeah, sticks is an understatement.
All
right, so
literally, he literally has horses in his garden.
yeah.
I'm good. You know what? I went on holiday on Saturday. I went to the garden.
Hey, you know, how's the
drinking some beers in the garden? It's nice, man. It's nice. You know, we walk the cat and that. You know, bro. I'm just doing mad things just to try and keep myself sane at the moment. You know, but yeah. I got my health, and that's the most important thing in it.
Yeah, so, no, but you know, like, because I was even saying to my friend that, like, hopefully the time that we come out of this, like in 2028 or something, people will have massive beards, will be over. I see those women that looked really good before this, they will look like some different kinds of creatures that you've never seen before. Basically, it's going to be scary when you see people.
Nah, those girls will still be okay because they're still selling like bikinis and doing sponsored ads for I Saw It First on Instagram. So you know what I mean?
True. So they have to stay fit and lean, man.
And
so
just one more thing as well before we go. I just wanted to pay homage to a certain man who got locked down the other day. So I'm going to be doing the show in honor of HH. Free up my brother HH, man. That was a liberties.
Okay, there's a couple of comments in there quickly saying that Neeks and Devil should go bald. What is Neeks gonna do with his hair? I'm not gonna lie, I've been thinking, and I can't cut it. I swear I can't.
No. Okay. Neeks, what do I have to do to get you to just, especially in during this lockdown thing, to just go bald? Join this man.
I can't. I swear. I thought about it, but I think I'm gonna go back to K-Rose. I had K-Rose when I was like 18, so like 10 years ago now. Last time I had it. But I can't. I swear I can't cut it.
I actually really feel jealous of people with all that hair. Because I told you, that hair doesn't grow here anymore. That's why I've got to go bald. So I always get jealous when I see people with a lot of hair, man.
Nah.
Yeah, but what you
If
have?
I cut my hair, now my hair's just, you know what I mean? I just dash this on, you know what I mean? But if I go bald, then boy, it might not come back.
So before we get, obviously, you know, this week what we're going to be doing, we always do this whole mystery team thing that both of our dear friends have received these teams where they have a mystery team and we now see how well each team will go each other. They don't know which their teams are, but before we get there, just a little bit of house cleaning, you know, football news around. And I think the thing that has really been talked about really in this past week has been the whole idea of player cuts and whether players should take a pay cut. And again, obviously, so before let me just kick this off. I was watching AFTV. Shout out to Robbie, man. Look, this is time where you have to now be creative with your content and everything. So he had Kevin Campbell.
Sorry, before you go, let me just say because his father,
his father passed. Yeah, condolences. Yeah. So condolences for that. Yeah. So he had Kevin Campbell on.
Another one of your bald brothers.
The what?
One of your bald brothers, Kevin Campbell.
Yeah, no, look, man. Staying in unison, man. You know, we bald people must stay close together. So Robbie asked Kevin that, okay, would you take a pay cut? And he said no. And he said that I would defer payments, but I wouldn't take a pay cut. So, and then I was like, you know what? That's interesting because now if you take a pay cut and you sign a contract to a pay cut and things now come through and you're like, hey, pay me normally. No. You just signed a contract for a pay cut. So what Kevin Campbell was saying that since it's the hard times, okay, defer payments, but pay me afterwards. Because he says these Premier League clubs, they have the money and they make enough money. So it is understandable during this time to sort of like, you know, reduce your payments and so forth. But he just said, nope, I am not going to just agree to a pay cut ad infinitum and sign a contract lodging that whole thing. So, and I think, you see, for me, I think that definitely makes sense for Premier League clubs. But I think as you go down division by division, that's when it just gets slightly complex. So what about you, Deborah? Where do you stand on the whole pay cut thing?
See, I think the terminology is what Kevin Campbell says is right. Because I'm pretty sure those players like Messi and Barcelona and the German clubs, where it says they're taking a 30% pay cut, it's not that. Where it is they're covering the wages of the non-playing staff through their wages. I don't think once this is finished, they're all going to be on that wage for the remainder of their contract. I don't think that's what's going to happen. So I think when you're saying a pay cut, it's different to, as you're saying, deferring your wages or using your wage for someone else to cover someone else's wage, which is entirely up to the players. But as Kevin Campbell said, 100%, I believe the clubs, it's their responsibility. It's their responsibility to cover that. Most of these clubs can afford to do it. If they can't, then it's up to the club to approach the players and say, look, we're struggling. Can you help us out? And then it's up to the players to do it. The players are in talks to do that, but it's not for someone outside of the game to turn around and say, well, what are you doing? Because then you have to question everyone who earns a certain amount of money. Mm-hmm. And you're not going to do that, are you? I can't see them going to the heads of Sainsbury's and Tesco's, and these people are still raking in money now and asking them, yeah, they're making record profits. They're not asking these men to look after other people and stuff like that. I think when the whole Tottenham thing came out and everyone, because they were like the first, I know Newcastle put their staff on furlough, but I think Tottenham, after just announcing record profits year after year and everything like that, when that came out, everyone was like, they shouldn't do that, that's disgusting. And somehow the players got mixed up in that. And it wasn't the players, it was Tottenham Football Club. Which is disgusting to put your staff on furlough when you clearly have money. Everyone knows Levy has money. And Lewis, I think it's Joe Lewis, I don't know his first name. Lewis is one of the richest people in the country. Like, people don't realize this about Tottenham's owner. Everyone thinks it's Levy.
Wait. So
Levy is just a chairman.
So Joe Lewis owns Tottenham, or who is Joe Lewis?
Yeah. He's I think it's several billion is what he's worth. He's very, very rich. So that club has money. So to put your staff on furlough is disgusting. And I know Liverpool said the same thing, and under peer pressure, they've now changed it, which is purely PR. Because if no one said nothing, they would have been happy to have their staff on 80%. But because people kicked off, and Liverpool fans kicked off, to be fair, so well played to them, they've now changed their mind and they're now no longer doing furlough. But the whole thing with furlough was it was brought in for small businesses who struggled to pay their staff to be able to maintain their business. No Premier League football club should have to use that. Not one of them. Not one of them. It's ridiculous. But to go back to the players, I think if a player such as, I know Jordan Henderson has been quite vocal, apparently he's leading players towards coming towards an agreement where part of their wage is used to pay off staff, then that's brilliant. That's great. But it's up to the player. Do you know what I mean? Shouldn't be the same for someone like I don't know, Harry Kane or whoever else who gets 200 grand plus. Shouldn't be the same as someone who's just come through into the first team and is earning 10 grand. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't weigh up. It doesn't balance out. So I think it should be up to the individual, and they shouldn't be pressured into doing it if that's not the choice they want to make. Same as anything in life, really.
All right, Nix.
Yeah, I agree with Deborah said. I think for me, it was wrong with the Premier League to come out as they did and make a public statement saying that Premier League players should be taking a 30% pay cut. And I know the Premier League is made up of the Premier League clubs, which makes it even more, for me, poor, because it's like your manager coming out. I know it's not the football manager directly, but or the owner or whatever coming out and saying, yeah, all my players are taking a 30% pay cut. And you haven't even discussed it with the people that are going to be taking this cut, because that's what it is. The PFA and the players haven't been a part of any negotiation to reduce this cut, but they've come out and made a public statement, which then puts the light on the players, like the players are the ones who are resisting it. But in the same days and the same weeks, the players, you're seeing players going out there and contributing, Marcus Rashford contributing to the free breakfast program and putting his energy in terms of raising money for that. You see, as you mentioned, Jordan Henderson, and there's plenty others, Paul Pogba. They've all been involved in different charitable causes in this whole period. And then for players to get thrown under the bus like this, I think it's disgusting, and it's very convenient for people who the light should be being shone on to try and divert it away from them and onto the players. And I think footballers get or get a lot of stick unjustly a lot of the time. And I think this is just one of the times. And for me, because of how everything is playing out in terms of the seriousness of the situation, it's one that I feel very passionate about. I'm not a footballer of no sorts, but to be throwing these young people really under the bus when it's not their responsibility to fund the nation. And one way or another, they're already doing that with their taxes that they pay. 50%, nearly 50% of their wages go into tax, which should be funding the NHS, etc., etc.
Who benefits from tax payments? A little lady sat on the throne there, just come out yesterday talking 5 minutes. Oh, thank you. Where's the money? Help us. Your service.
No.
Help us, man.
You see, that's a separate thing, man, because again, I don't want to speak too deeply because me and Lizzie, are on kind of like thinking things. But look, man, Lizzie gets a lot of that cheddar, and a lot of that cheddar, Lizzie should be donating it to the NHS. That's what I'm saying, bro. So
we'll go back to Africa and the Caribbean, but that's another day.
No, but they are sending the vaccine over there first.
Oh, well, thank you very much. But I think I do, as a overall statement, should Premier League players take pay cuts? Yes, I think yes. But as you said, it's up to the players. You can't force anyone to do it. The clubs are obliged to pay their contract. That's if they don't, then they'll get sued. And there's certain agents out there who definitely will be very quick to sue Premier League clubs. And there's some owners who probably deserve to get sued because they're disgusting the way they do their business. But you have to question. I think Wayne Rooney did a very good article speaking about it. Where is that money going? Are we just taking a pay cut so the owners can keep it in their pocket? Or is that money going to be used to pay the non-essential staff, the non-playing staff of the club? Because if that's the case, I'm sure the majority of the players would be more than willing to do that. Because you hear about Premier League players, especially the ex ones, talking about the relationship they have with like the tea lady and the dinner lady and XYZ, the kit man. So they would not want to see those people go without, knowing that they've got an abundance. But the players needed assurances about where that money is going to be going. I know there's been talks about that money going directly to the NHS, so it shows that their intentions are what's the word, moral. But there, some clubs are in different situations. You get a Man United who they've announced that none of their staff are going to be on furlough, and they'll be able to pay everyone basically the 100% up to a point. Of course, there may come a point where everyone has to take a pay cut across the whole club. But there's other clubs, you might get a Burnley who most of their revenue comes from TV, and if that money hasn't come in, or it's being it comes in maybe in stages, and we haven't reached the stage of the season, they may need their players to take a bigger cut to keep the club running, even if they're Premier League, than a Man United, a Liverpool, or Tottenham. So everyone's in a different, they need to negotiate within their own club, with their own players. But I think as a whole, yes, they do need to take a cut. What cut? I think it's very specific to each situation. But if you look at abroad, Italy today, Serie A, they announced 19 of the 20 clubs have agreed to take up to 30% pay cut. So it's 1/6 at the moment. If the season does continue at some point, they would have reduced 1/6 of their salary, which equates to 2 months worth. And if it doesn't continue, so if the season's suspended, null and void, then it will be 1/3 of their salary. But Juventus have already negotiated with their players what they're already going to do, so they're outside of that. But each club is going to be different. But I think players will be willing to contribute to the staff and the community.
So let's just take some of the guys in live chat are saying. So your boy already said, aren't we going to have to pay back this money as the taxpayer?
Yeah. Because that's what the furlough is. Furlough is a loan, a government loan, essentially. So this is why it's set up for smaller businesses who can cover their wages now, and then it'll be paid back, over time, through taxes and whatever else. So none of this stuff, the government isn't giving anyone money. They're not giving anyone money. This is all loans. So when we get through this next year or the year after, whenever it comes, the tax is going to take a hike. And everyone's going to be like, "Wow, what's to my money?" We're going to be working hard for peanuts.
Yeah, no, look, man, because the tax I paid this past time was nasty. So please, man, nah. So you said the wages are based on income. Income is reduced, so the wages should be reduced. Well, contracts.
Yes,
a contract is a contract.
Yeah, yes. They might set a certain income wage threshold because they are guaranteed X amount from the Premier League and TV rights, etc. But it's not a what's the word, like a floating rate. It doesn't go up if the income goes up and goes down if the income goes down. It's a fixed rate, and they hope that their income can cover it. So, but I agree, because there's no income coming in from those places, then a deferral makes sense. Because if the season continues, that income is then going to come in, and you can get those wages back. If you take a cut and that income then comes in, you've cut your wages. You're not getting that money. Who's getting that money? Those are important questions, because as fans, we always talk about, what are the owners doing the money? Why are we not spending it? Why are we not buying players? You think that the money that they might save from this, they're going to put into the transfer key? No, it's going to go out as dividends. That's real.
All right, so now this is where I'm now. The weak clubs will be weaker. So we're looking at the Premier League clubs right now, but let's look at, let's say, a Bournemouth or a recently promoted club. And let's say if they void this season, the clubs that have just been promoted right now and we now go below, what happens then? Because these guys, I don't even know how they're even surviving without any of the kind of match income that they are reliant upon, merchandise and so forth. So what happens then? So do the players have to take a pay cut? Is it a follow and something? Do the government have to sort of step in and actually
Bournemouth already came out. Eddie Howe's taken a pay cut to cover the cost of non-playing staff. And they're saying that this is big for Bournemouth. They don't really have the money to survive something like this if it goes on for too long. Bournemouth, they play in front of what? I think their stadium's about 12,000 or something, 13, 14,000. It's quite a small stadium. So they're not making millions per match day. like a Man United or Newcastle even, you know. So something like this is really big for them. Their players will have to, I'm sure their players will have to take pay cuts. If this goes on, you know, past June into July or whenever, they're going to have to take a cut for that club to survive. And I think it's good that Eddie Howe was the first one to do so, because that's what you want. A manager should be leading by example, and he's done
And
that.
then everyone can then follow on, yeah.
Precisely. But yeah, I think some smaller clubs, this is going to be massive. Think outside of the Premier League.
Yeah.
Most Premier League clubs should be okay.
Yeah.
Should be. But you go down the tables and
I think even hit the Championship.
yeah.
Champion. Like if you look at Norwich get 100 million this season. If they finish 20, they get 100 million. Leeds or West Brom, they're going to get 3 million. Their position. Of course, when they come into the Premier League, that money from TV comes. But as for winning the Championship, it's 3 million. So people talk about football like it's like a one whole in a vacuum. There's so many different levels to it. And to be honest, the Premier League, and I know what they did was they forwarded payments for the EFL, but they haven't increased. I think the EFL clubs and National League, they're going to need an increase in the funding from the Premier League, because forwarding the payments is cool. But once that forwarded money runs out and then the season has to restart, they're still going to need some more funding. So it's for me, it's below. It's for Championship and below who are really going to be impacted by this. And I think the Premier League does have a responsibility to make sure the English Football League survives. Because, yeah, we love the Premier League. It's all well and good. But if there is no English Football League, there is no Premier League.
No, there is, yeah.
20 teams year after year, but it won't be English football. It won't be football. Because football is all about the promotion and the division and the coming up from the non-league and, you know, a Jamie Vardy, those kind of players that come from non-league and working their way up. If that's broken, then football in this country will be broken. So I think the Premier League has a duty to make sure that those clubs can survive. You don't want another Berry situation.
Oh, there's going to be a few. There's going to be a few.
All right, so let's just take this last comment and we'll move. So now, is this true? Mane earns less than Ox. Would you take a pay cut if you're Mane?
Yeah.
Yes.
He negotiated the contract when he joined Liverpool, and at the time he was happy with it. Now he may want to pay rise now, but he shouldn't. You know, don't watch my pocket in it.
You know what I mean?
He negotiated, and Mane negotiated what he did.
And Mane just needs a new agent.
Yeah.
Actually,
I'll
no.
Your agent. I'll be his agent. I'll get him some deals.
Wait, actually, no. This is actually a funny word. So, if these clubs can, shout out to my podcast buddy Danny T. If these clubs can buy bad footballers for 35 million, i.e., Drinkwater and Solanke, they should have a few million to help their workers and staff for a few months. That's funny. Do you know how many bricks I've seen being bought for 20 million, 25 mil? So if you have 20, 25 mil to spend on a Class C or a Class B brick, are you saying that and I think that's the key thing here. Again, focusing on the Premier League clubs now, the guys below, you don't know. For the Premier League clubs, you don't have a few million just to spread over your non-playing staff for the next few months.
Well, you know what? Bournemouth should be looking to Liverpool. Bournemouth should go to Liverpool and say, look, guys, we helped you out bare times. We've signed so much trash to line your pockets. You guys owe us. Please help us. We spent 25 million on Solanke, 15 million on Jordan Ibe. Who else they signed from Liverpool? I swear they signed some other people for big money.
Harry Wilson? No.
Harry Wilson's on loan.
Oh, no. I think isn't they loan him?
They loaned Klein when he was in decline, obviously. and you know, come on. Liverpool should say, you know what? You've been good to us. Have a little 5 million just to help yourselves out.
There might be some. It would be good to see if some of the Premier League clubs, you know, obviously they've got players that they may have bought from lower league clubs or, you know, clubs who ain't got the same money, and you buy over installments. They might forward some of those payments, like, okay, we'll pay for this guy and the rest of his fee now, as opposed to in 12 months.
Don't say that to Arsenal, boy. We love an installment.
All right, so I'm sorry. I mean, any final comments on this? Because I think basically, for me, For me, again, like, look, the economic fallout of this is going to be effed up. That's the thing. And I just don't, because first of all, we don't even know how many months we're going to be through here. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't know how many clubs are going to survive. Because as you guys said, if there's no English football league as a whole, there's no Premier League. Unless you want to change this to the NBA, which would be stupid. And you have no relegations, you just have one singular league. So, but for my whole thing is that I don't know how a lot of these clubs are going to be able to survive. Because look, this UK government, these guys aren't even helping out people with like, okay, rent freezes, or we'll give you a certain amount each month, which is what France and all these guys are looking into. So if these guys are not helping regular folk, are they going to be helping these multi-billion pound clubs to be like, okay, like let's assist you as you come through? So I mean, like, so what do you think the future holds for football at large through this?
You know what? I think this is a big test for the big clubs in this country, because now you're going to see all this talk of a European Super League before. Now you're going to see how greedy some of these people are, because this will be the opportune time for them to turn around and say, you know what, we should have a little breakaway league for the big clubs, because we still got the money. We still have, we still have all of this stuff. Let those guys look after themselves. Yeah. And us, all the big clubs in England, all the big clubs in Spain, Italy, France, let's just have our Super League thing that we're going for years, and the rest of them can look after themselves.
And also remember,
I hope that doesn't happen. I doubt it, but I wouldn't be surprised.
But also, Devo, that's a key thing, because I think one of the big draws of a Super League is these clubs will actually be earning more money. Because if they sell their rights to, let's say, an Amazon, they will actually have a greater share of the TV money. Because right now, most of this TV money goes to the associations. So they say, okay, fine, we're going to break our league, and we're going to now form a TV partnership with an Amazon or with an Apple TV. Then you're going to be earning so much more money. So economically, it makes so much more sense for these big clubs to be like, let's just break away and actually create our own league. Nix?
Well, I think any club at this stage who even fall, I say it might come later, but forward this kind of idea on the back of this is an absolute disgrace. Absolute disgrace. And the same outcry that people have made, and correctly so, about Liverpool and their furlough statement at Spurs, etc. Fans of the same club should do the same if their club suggests going into this kind of thing on the back of this, because you're really just trying to capitalize. You're not thinking about the good of the game and the people. You're trying to profit for your own personal gain. But who does that benefit in the long run? Because in the short run, it might be profitable for you, but then you might be in that situation. And we want the bigger clubs to then push you out and say, all right, you can't sit at our table no more. Nah, I wouldn't back that at all.
All right, well, we just hope and we pray that these guys can give your boy H a few of those millions if they have anything lying about, man. So guys, as we will be doing each week for this whole thing, it's the mystery teams. So this is where I give your boy Devon and your boy Nix each a team. And obviously, I did it a few tweaks just to do it better than last year. And they each have to come up with a formation and so forth and see how they do. And also, let me just say this right now. Some of the people I saw on your subs bench, I find it quite ridiculous. I mean, we'll get into that. But some people on the subs bench, I just...
You gave this... The thing is, last week, you didn't give enough options. This week, you gave too many options. It was that you get... And also is imbalanced, but we'll get into that. I'll carry on.
Okay, no. But still, the people that I saw on that subs bench was messed up. All right. So first up, actually, first up is Devil's team. So Devil, take it away.
Okay, so you gave me a very attack-minded team. Literally, I had two central midfielders who had even a clue about how to defend. So I had the goalkeepers Buffon and Ter Stegen, and next to Buffon was written Prime. So obviously I went with Buffon. And in terms of the defense, I was going in between having a back four or a back three with who I had. So I've landed on a back four. Originally, I was going to have Cafu at right back. Now, Cafu for me is my favorite right back of all time. But when I'm looking at the rest of the team, I think Zanetti probably offers a little bit more defensively than what Cafu did. And I don't think I need that much going forward when you look at Messi, Bergkamp, and Del Piero. I don't think I need Cafu going forward that much. And I had to pick Torres. So I'm just hoping it's peak Torres.
Oh no! It's not. It's Chelsea Torres.
It's Chelsea Torres. Yeah. So okay. So there you go. My centre backs Nesta and Stam. Nesta is one of the best pure defenders in the history of football. Hardly ever got beat one-on-one. He was quiet and unassuming, and I think a lot of the time he didn't get the praise that he might because he was playing alongside a Cannavaro or alongside someone like Yapstam, who was a lot more all-action kind of defender, you know. But I put Stam in there because he's a beast. He was an absolute beast of a centre-back. He had the pace. You just to look at him, you wouldn't want to run against him. He just had that about him. Top quality centre-back. Roberto Carlos was the only left-back you gave me. So Roberto Carlos. Midfield, as I said before, Makelele and Vieira are the only midfielders you gave me who had any sort of sense of being able to defend. So they picked themselves as well. Plus, Vieira is probably one of my favourite midfielders of all time, and Makelele's Makelele. So I think they would, they'll be able to defend and mop up in front of the back four. And when Zanetti or Roberto Carlos go forward, Makelele could sit back in and create a bit of cover there. Vieira could carry the ball from midfield, break up attacks. He's a bit of an everything midfielder. And then I've gone for kind of a narrow three, just behind Torres, of Del Piero, Bergkamp, and Messi. Messi's Messi. I don't need to explain that. Bergkamp, for me, it's just different quality, number 10. I was really close to putting Riquelme there instead of Bergkamp, but I'm an Arsenal fan, so Bergkamp went in there. Del Piero, I think, would give me a little bit more in terms of he's not just a creator, he's not just a goal scorer, very intelligent player. He could do more than one job on the football pitch. I think he would be able to go out wide and occupy the spaces out there on the left and cut inside and give defenders problems. And then I had to choose Torres, so which hurt me because I've got Batistuta on the bench. Obviously, I would have loved to have put him in, but I had to play Torres. But to go through my bench, just so you guys can have a look, I had Ter Stegen, Lilian Thuram, Cafu, Nedved.
Wait, Devil. Thuram is a left back.
Thuram's not a left back.
He
was a right back. He was a right back centre back.
But he can play on the left as well. I'm sure he can play on the left.
Yeah, but why would I put him, who's not a specialist left back, above Roberto Carlos?
It's about being imaginative. Okay, Karen with yourselves.
Yeah, so Nedved, Rui Costa, Riquelme, Totti, Shevchenko, Vieri, Ribery, and Batistuta.
Shevchenko?
Huh?
Did you say Shevchenko?
Shevchenko, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. See, there's Del Piero. The Del Piero one, I was really and ahhing between Del Piero and there's a number of people I could have put in there as well. But I rate Del Piero very, very highly. I think he's a very intelligent footballer, and he was a leader for Juventus. And I think he's all-time top goal scorer for Juventus. I think and he was doing it for a long period of time at Juventus when they had some of the best players in the world. Del Piero is still the main man. I think some people don't really understand how good he was. People rate Totti. If you look at the amount of caps Totti had for Italy, Del Piero is the reason why.
Okay. Yeah. So now let's look at Nix's team.
Right. So
wait. Why is there so much space between the midfield and the attack, man?
Look at the attack. Look at the attack. Like, all right. So, I mean, the space is there because if I move certain players, their position changes, in it, in terms of the name of their position. But anyway, so I've gone for a 4-2-3-1. Initially, actually, I had a 4-2-4 because I wanted two strikers. Because once I go from my bench, you realize the striker that I actually left out. I had to pick Llorente. hence why he's there. And it was specifically told to me that this is Spurs and Uwe Llorente, not any other Llorente. So
Yep.
this is the worst version of Llorente. But you know what? I'm trying to maybe use him as somewhat of a decoy, more than planning to get a 20 goal season out of him or even a one-off hat trick. Starting with my defense. So my options for goalkeeper were Oliver Kahn or Manuel Neuer. Not an easy choice. Not an easy choice. Peak Neuer was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant. And his style of goalkeeping is different to Oliver Kahn's, to be fair. But I know and maybe if I was a few years younger, I would go for Manuel Neuer. But growing up, it was Oliver Kahn, Peter Schmeichel. Those were the two keepers for me at the time. We were like around the late 90s, early 2000s. He won the Golden Ball in the World Cup 2002. I don't think a keeper's ever won it before, which says it all. At right back now, it was a tough one. I had 3 right backs to choose from. Obviously, the one that I went for Philip Lahm. The other 2 that I left out was Maicon and Dani Alves. Now, initially, I actually had Dani Alves in there, but once I made my attack, I was like, no. Figo ain't tracking back. Ronaldo ain't tracking back. Maradona ain't tracking back. let me have Philip Lahm in there. So I won't go in Philip Lahm. Left back, I only had one left back and Ashley Cole. No, sorry, I didn't. Sorry, I had Marcelo as well, but that's an easy choice. Ashley Cole, best left back of all time. Someone in the chat, who is it? Los Blancos. I said Roberto Carlos is the best left back of all time. Sorry, it's Ashley Cole.
No, he's not.
It's Ashley Cole.
There's two players in your team better than that Roberto Carlos left back.
Philip Lahm and Ashley Cole.
No, Cole and Maldini.
Oh, Maldini. Oh, yeah. And my centre back options were Ferdinand, Puyol, and obviously Cannavaro, Maldini. When I saw Cannavaro, I was eagerly looking for Nesta because I'm like, partnership. Cannavaro and Nesta ain't nothing better than that as a partnership. But you can't sleep on Maldini, a legend in his own right. I think that back 5 is defensively solid. Like you might not get too much forays forward from either of them. Lahm can bring it forward and move into midfield, but he ain't the most.
Nick.
Someone didn't like what he said there. Hope just cut him off.
No. As I swear, I didn't cut him off. So
Hope cut him off.
Okay, so basically, while we sort of wait for Nick's man, okay, so remind me again who you had on your bench.
Okay, so my bench was Ter Stegen, Lilian Thuram, Cafu.
I'm back.
Nedved.
I'm back.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, it's back. Okay, all right.
Go ahead, too excited.
I was in my flow. Yeah, that defense is solid. It's very good. So I'll be very surprised if he get past that. But some of your players are decent. Then my central midfield. Now it wasn't easy. I'm not going. It wasn't easy. But when I saw these 2 options, I was like, this is the World Cup winning option. This central midfield won the World Cup, dominated the World Cup from start to finish, and in the final, I mean, one of them was on one leg, and the other one had to carry him. So I'm like, I had Pirlo, Okocha, Zidane, Iniesta.
Pirlo.
I did. I did.
Ooh, did I hear Zidane as well?
But I couldn't play Zidane or Iniesta. I couldn't play the beat.
Oh man, went Pogba over Zidane.
Well,
wow.
For me, Zidane is an attacking midfielder. Now I know he can play central midfield, of course, but those 2, I want. Well, Kante, of course, he's going to be much more defensive. I want Pogba to do an attacking and
a 3 in midfield, and then just play like a 2 in behind your Llorente.
Which 2?
I said, why would you play a 3?
No, I'm saying, who you want me to drop from my 3 behind Llorente? But anyway, we'll get
let him finish. Yeah.
So now, obviously, Pirlo, brilliant pass of the ball. He ain't going to carry the ball in the same way Pogba would. As you said, look at the gap between my midfield and my attack. Who's going to carry that ball? There's no, for me, out of all the options I had, there's no 2 better to carry the ball from that deep forward than Kante and Pogba.
Nick, you're getting lots of hate, by the way, for dropping Zidane. So
listen, my option was Zidane or Maradona, and I love Zidane. Zidane for me is the best player I've ever seen, but I didn't see Maradona like that. His 94 World Cup, I was 3 years old. But
No. Nix. People in live chat, you really put Pogba ahead of Pirlo.
no, but I'm not putting Pogba ahead of Pirlo. I'm putting Kante
partnership
ahead of any other partnership because Kante and Pirlo, who's bringing the ball forward? You're just hoping on Pirlo springing long balls or down the channels for Figo and Ronaldo, Cristiano. That's the only because who's going to bring the ball? I don't want Kante all the way up there because I need him. I need him to do the dog work behind. But anyway, move forward. Now, my front. Well, the two players I didn't pick were Henry, because I had to pick Llorente, and the other one. Now, this one hurt me so bad. At first I had a 4-2-4. And with a 4-2-4, I definitely had to have two defensive midfielders. But when I realized, I had to pick Llorente, and I can't drop this person, I can't drop that person. R9's on my bench. R9 is on my bench.
Oh, you sick
R9
man!
Is on my bench. Where? Where do I put him? Where do I put him? Where's everyone going? Come back, guys. Listen.
Wow.
Seriously, chat. If you want Nix to join me in Class C, put hashtag Class C in the live chat right now. If you want Nix,
yeah, I'm about to go get my judge. I'm about to go get my judge out.
Put hashtag Class C in the live chats right now.
J Spurs goes, Nix is moving like it's FUT, so we call it Ultimate Team drafts with the chemistry. It is about chemistry. I can't just put the best 11 players out there. I need to have some kind of anyway. So I've gone with Figo as a right winger. And the reason I went with Figo, I did have Maradona there first, and I had Zidane in behind Llorente. But I don't want Llorente, but I had to pick him. Cristiano ain't crossing. I need someone who's going to cross the ball to him. Figo would do that. Figo would definitely get down the wing and put in some crosses. And that's the only way you're going to get anything out of Llorente. Maradona picks himself, and Cristiano Ronaldo as an inside forward for me picks himself.
Sorry, just real quick. So, super chat from Brandon K.
Build
a wing for Nix, bro.
And yeah, like I said, I had to pick Llorente. So anyone saying R9, I had to pick Llorente.
No. Wait, but Nix, the fact you have R9 there, play two strikers and figure it out. Play two strikers and figure it out.
But then when I say, and on my bench is Maradona, people will be saying the same thing.
Yeah, you know what? This is a tough exercise because you have to think of, because we have that particular brick who has to play. You have to think, well, let's try and find a way to make it worth with him being on the pitch. And
can I make it clear quickly? People are saying Llorente. No.
Yes. So
Llorente.
Yes. So guys, to be clear, when I gave them these guys both of these teams, there is a brick that has to play. So the whole point of the exercise is that you have to fit these. So there's a brick that both of these guys have to put into the team.
Yeah. So it's difficult to find, because if you just put Llorente on and don't give him any supply, you're playing with 10 men. So I understand why he's picked Figo in that regard, because Figo is one of the best crossers of the ball in the history of the game. So if he's going to pick out Llorente, then it makes Llorente being there not an absolute waste of time.
The only player in my squad who would. I could have put Cristiano on the right. I thought about it to put I was going to put either maybe Iniesta on the left, because I know he can do that job brilliantly anyway. But I just thought, listen, I can't rely on Llorente scoring. I can't. So who's my goal scorer? It's Ronaldo from the left. Cristiano from the left is the goal scorer. Llorente is there. That's he's a decoy in it.
So can you just for the people, man?
I'll read my subs bench.
Read out your subs bench.
So my subs is Manuel Neuer, Daniel Alves, Maicon, Ferdinand Puyol, and Marcelo. Pirlo, Okocha, Zidane, Iniesta, Henry, and Ronaldo R9.
Jesus.
Yeah. You know what? You don't like defensive midfielders, do you?
No.
Because when I heard his bench, he's got two players in midfield who can play central mid.
Okay. I get the midfield. Okay, if it was me, I would sacrifice one of those three. And okay, you know what? What I may do. Okay, look, it is hard because for me, because I would play a three and put a two in behind a. Okay, you know, okay, okay, I get it. Okay, you know what I do? You know what I do? Okay, fine. Because R9 has to play, I would play.
Well, he doesn't. Llorente has to play.
No. I play two strikers. Llorente, R9, and I'll sacrifice one of those three in behind.
Who are you sacrificing?
You know what? I may have to sacrifice. You know what I may do? I may have to sacrifice Figo, put Maradona a bit wide, and then just tell Lam that you have to now walk that channel up and down, because that thing of Pogba and Kante is light. So let's. Okay, wait, no. Okay, so now that you've seen Nick's team, the Endeavor, how would you take his team as based on the guys that you have? How would you express his weaknesses?
Well, as much as Kante and Pogba are immense, I think Pogba wouldn't like to go up against Vieira. I don't think Pogba's got that kind of fight in him where Vieira's red carded how many times in his career in England. This guy was, he was, as much as he was a very good player, he was also an aggressive asshole. You know what I mean? And I don't think Pogba would like that kind of thing. So I think I would tell Vieira, you know what, he's precious. Get in amongst him, rough him up, and, you know, pop the ball off to your Messis, your Bergkamps, Del Pieros. Let them guys do what they need to do. I think where Neeks is strong compared to my team, I think Philip Lahm against Roberto Carlos, I would fancy Philip Lahm to win that battle. I think Philip Lahm has got the energy. He's a very intelligent footballer. He could go either way. I don't think Roberto Carlos would get much out of him in terms of what Roberto Carlos was very good at, was rampaging down that side, using his pace to get past a fullback and either put in a cross or get a shot off on goal. I don't think he can use that kind of technique against Philip Lahm, whose positioning is, you know, top class. He was hardly ever out of position. But then you also have Cannavaro and Maldini, who are very quick defenders as well. So they can cover any gaps that would be in behind there. So I think Neeks has got a strong defensive setup there. So in terms of, if you look at area for area, I think his defense is better than my defense. I think my midfield two would probably get the better of his midfield two. I'd
agree.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, for me,
yeah,
my midfield two are like Makelele and Vieira version
light.
2. Light.
Yeah.
Diet.
Yeah, I was thinking that when you said about the World Cup, because I'm sure Vieira and Makelele, they definitely won the Euros together, but I don't know if they won the World Cup together.
I don't think Makelele.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
I think he retired at that point, hasn't he? But I think I just don't know how Kante will be able to look after Bergkamp, Messi, Del Piero, all kind of interchanging and taking up that space in there. I'm not really looking too much for them guys to be too wide. I kind of want them to all kind of interchange and be fluid. That's why.
Basically, you'll be going centrally like tiki taka.
Yeah. I'm looking for Carlos and Zanetti to keep the width, and those guys to just kind of use pockets of spaces in between midfield and his back line to try and, you know, get Torres in behind the fence. Because Torres, as much as he wasn't very good at Chelsea, his movement never waned. His movement was always good. It's just he couldn't finish. He couldn't finish his dinner. But if he can get into those spaces, then, you know, maybe he can have a Barcelona moment. You know.
Okay, so what about you, Nix? How would you?
As I said, I've gone like kind of, the team is split into somewhat of a two, where you've got the defense and literally the attack. I agree, Devil's midfield trumps mine. As I said, this is like, you know, Vieira and Makelele light, and there's no disgrace in it because Vieira and Makelele are legends, isn't it? But I've gone strong in defense, so I don't want my forwards to even think about defending. So I'm allowing Zanetti and Roberto Carlos to bomb on as much as you want. Leave Cristiano and leave Figo up there. I trust that Lahm and Cole, Maldini and Cannavaro and of course Kante shielding, will be able to break up play and give the ball to Pogba to find the attacking players. Now, as you can see, my Maradona, I actually dropped him as far back as I could but still make him attacking midfielder, because that link, as much as it can be between him and Pogba, is really going to be important for Pogba to get the ball into Maradona, and of course, for him to create. Now, the reason why I didn't go with Maradona on the right when I went with Figo, I mentioned obviously Figo's crossing for Llorente. I was thinking Maradona. I remember it was the World Cup. He didn't score in the World Cup final, but he got did he get 2 assists, or he had a hand in all 3 goals, didn't he? And
which
final was that? He had the key assist for the third goal. I'm not sure about the 2 other goals.
Okay, but a lot of the work he does is getting the ball and slipping it in behind, down like on the inside of between the centre backs and the full backs. Llorente ain't making those runs, in it. So Maradona coming in from there is, I mean, it's a bit pointless in that regard. Of course, we know he can dribble past the whole team and score. But my aim will be defend, so I have a low block, allow them to play tick-attack in front of you, and as we break it down, and that defense for me is solid. As you break that down attack, Ronaldo, Figo, Maradona up the field, find them, and it's really freestyle football from up there. Do what you want. So call me Jose Quamina.
Okay, so guys in the live chat, tell me, who do you think would actually win that? Based on your thoughts, tell me who you think would actually win that little bout over them. All right, so we're gonna play a little game, and I think most of you who are on the Sunday Hangouts, you probably know about this game. So I'll just tell you the rules for those who don't know, and obviously for Knicks and Devils. So I'm going to give you each a player. So this is called the mystery player battle. So you don't know who this player is. I'm going to give you each a player. And then after a few seconds of having this player, Devil will have 1 minute to defend the case of why his player is quality and better than the other player. Then Knicks, you will have 1 minute to now defend your case of why your player is quality. Then Devil will have 30 seconds to rebut, and Knicks will now have 30 seconds to rebut, and we'll have the live chat to now tell us who we think wins. So we'll do like 5 rounds, and then we'll now have the live chat to see who wins between you two and everything. So, so hopefully you're ready and so forth. So remember, I will be doing the timing. So it's 1 minute, 1 minute, 30 seconds, 30 seconds.
Wait. So are you going to tell us both our players at the same time?
Yes.
But then that gives Neeks 2 minutes to think of argument. Because if I go first and I've got a minute to talk about my player, he's had a minute to think about his before he gets his minute.
Yeah, but what you wanted to do, Devon?
So if you're going to tell me my player first,
no. This is
tell me my player first, and when my minute's up, tell him his player.
Okay. So, both ready?
Yeah. Born ready.
So, Devil, you have Wayne Rooney. Knicks, you have Michael Owen. So, Devil, you have Wayne Rooney and Michael Owen. So, just give you some time, just think of your arguments. Some time to think of your arguments. All right. So, Devil, your time starts now.
Wayne Rooney obviously is England's top goal scorer of all time. Manchester United's all-time top goal scorer. Bursted through on the scene 16, which is unprecedented, really. I know Owen broke through early, but not as early as Rooney. Rooney just basically played amongst some of the best players in the world and shone. He played alongside your CR7s, Tevez, Berbatovs. You know, he played in Manchester United, a team that constantly was winning, and he adapted his game throughout many title-winning seasons. You know, he's had his ups and downs as a player, but he's always come back, scored very important goals for club and country. Very talented player. I think a lot of people kind of look at the media hype that was behind him, but extremely talented player who was talked about with some of the greats. Pele said how good he was. So, Wayne Rooney.
Okay. All right. Cool.
How many rounds is this?
There are 5 rounds.
Cool. So I build up.
So Knicks, your time starts now.
Michael Owen burst onto the scene of English football. I mean, if it wasn't for someone like him, a Wayne Rooney doesn't have the same impact in it because everyone's looking for the next Michael Owen. And I know they're not the same style of footballer, but they come from similar parts of the country. I mean, one played for, the only club in Liverpool. The other played for what Fergie might call the noisy neighbours. I mean, I don't rate either of them, but it is what it is. I think it was Shankly who said there's only two, the two best teams in Liverpool are Liverpool and Liverpool under 21s. And Michael Owen played for both. Burst onto the scene, got into the Liverpool side, and really and truly, he could have gone on to be a Liverpool legend if he wanted to, but he obviously had bigger things afoot. Got into the England side, and I mean, he scored in the World Cup in 1998 at a young age. Wayne Rooney tried and tried and tried, and he only scored in the World Cup, I mean, right at the end of his career. The goals that he scored against Arsenal in the 2001 FA Cup, for me, that put him up there with many.
Right, time down. All right, so Devil, 30 seconds to rebut now.
Wayne Rooney has scored many spectacular goals in his career. When you think of some of the most iconic goals in Premier League history, Wayne Rooney will be in the top 10 at least twice, if not 3 times. He's scored big goals for England. He was England's talisman for many, many years. And as we said before, he's England's all-time record goal scorer. Owen never reached those heights for England. I know he did well, but how many goals did he score in how many years?
But all right, so Nix, your 30 seconds starts now.
He might not score the same amount of goals for England as Wayne Rooney did, but a lot of that was to do with injuries. We know once he got his injuries, he wasn't the same player. But when he was that player, yeah, England might not have seen the best of him, but the world recognised him winning the Ballon d'Or. And I think it was 2001, the same year Liverpool won what I call the Rebo treble, the triple if you want, the UEFA Cup, FA Cup, and the League Cup. But it was still 3 trophies. Wayne Rooney, I don't know if he's even reached top 3 in the Ballon d'Or rankings.
Okay, boom, done. All right, so guys in the live chat, tell me who you thought won that. So remember, guys, this is based off arguments. Forget about the quality of the player. It's based off the quality of the arguments. So guys in the live chat, tell me who you think won that round, and then we can then move on to the next round. So obviously, people, if you when you're watching, in the comments below, just give us your scoring about everything, so we can look back and give the scoring. A lot of people were saying that you didn't mention Ballon d'Or.
I just did at the end.
He did.
He just mentioned it.
He did at the end.
At least you just said he won the Ballon d'Or in
2001
as he led Liverpool to a Rebo triple.
Oh, so you mentioned Owen's Ballon d'Or.
Yeah. He's doing research as we talk.
Okay.
Rounds. I said I'm going to build up in it. I didn't want to play it all out at once.
Okay, so next one now. So is this the next round now? So, Devil, your player is Ozil. Nix, your player is Snyder. And remember, so Devil, you have prime Ozil. So these are all players at the best. So Devil, you have prime Ozil. Nix, you've obviously got prime Snyder, obviously at 2010 and so forth. So Ozil, Snyder. So Nix, your time starts now.
Wesley Sneijder, I mean, he's played for a couple of the biggest clubs in the world. Real Madrid being one, Inter Milan being another. And I mean, what he did at Inter Milan, in and of itself, is greater than anything Ozil could even dream of. Ozil was playing in peak Real Madrid. And for me, he wasn't their best player. I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo's there, fair enough. But, he was good. He was very good. But they were willing to get rid of him. They were willing to sell him. Sneijder wasn't that at Inter Milan. He was key in winning them that treble under Mourinho in 2010, beating arguably the greatest Barcelona side of all time, arguably which is one of the greatest club sides, not the greatest club side of all time. In that same year, leading Netherlands to a runners-up medal, unfortunately, in the World Cup, and getting top goal scorer from midfield with 5 goals. Also, did he win the Golden Ball in that year? I can't remember.
Done. All right, done. So, Devil, your minute starts now.
Ozil. He played at Real Madrid and he was one of the best players there. If you ask any of the staff and any of the players when he was sold, they were all very upset because of the impact he had for that club. I don't think the same was said when Sneijder left Real Madrid. Ozil was a darling amongst the players because of his skills on the ball and his assists and his vision. There's not many players in the history of football who has the same vision as him when he was at his peak at Real Madrid. And if you look at what he did in Germany as well for Werder Bremen, winning trophies there for a club that wasn't very popular in terms of what they were winning back in the days, he was instrumental in Germany's victories in the World Cup. You look at what he did for the German under-21s when they absolutely steamrolled that competition. He was the star man throughout that competition. He took that up to the senior level and was the star man for senior level, winning German Player of the Year 6 times running. And look at some of the players that Germany have produced. I don't think Schneider's won Dutch Player of the Year 6 times running.
Okay.
And I don't think that...
All right, so 30 seconds for Nix starts now.
See, the difference with Schneider and Ozil, Schneider's career went a bit like that, and he peaked in 2010. Ozil went like that, and when he should have been peaking, he went like that. He joined Arsenal, and his career ain't been what it should. And really, for me, that puts a downer. Schneider goes out from wherever he leaves, whether it's Inter Milan, his final big club, and of course he went to Galatasaray. There's fond memories. You don't get Ozil out chance and on Galatasaray fan TV, the likes of Ozil being accused of walking around. There's a big difference.
Okay, all right. So 30 seconds for Devil starts now.
If you look at the top assists of all time list, you'll see Ozil firmly in the top 3, if not top, I believe, in terms of assists that he's had throughout his professional career. And that is, as we said, playing at the highest level in Germany, the highest level of Real Madrid, at the World Cup, at European Championships. He's done it at all levels. He's come to Arsenal, and he was one of the most creative players at Arsenal amongst a bunch of bums like Giroud. And Schneider, yes, he finished his career in Turkey.
Done. All right, done. All right, so guys in the live chat, put in who you thought won that. Put in who you thought won that. Because Devil had a tough one trying to get Ozil in there. So
that's his boy. He loves us.
No, but it is a tough one though. It is a tough one compared to Schneider.
It is so tough. So guys in the live chat, put who you think won us. So this is now round number 3. So
we got 5 of these.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, so odd number and everything. Look, man, okay, maths is my, I'm more at maths, So round number 3. So Devil, you have prime Fernando Torres, and Nix, you have Luis Cannibal Suarez. So all of these guys are their best. So you have prime Torres, and Nix, you have prime Luis Suarez. So Devil, your time starts now.
Prime Fernando Torres. Fernando Torres walked so Suarez could run. Fernando Torres came to Liverpool and was a revelation. He was a legend at Atletico Madrid at a very young age. I think he's the youngest captain in their history. He came to England under quite a lot of fanfare, a lot of pressure, and he was a menace. He absolutely menaced the Premier League when he was there in full flight. He's got great hair, hasn't bitten anyone. He's not racist. So, he's a good, wholesome, family man who did the business and made Vidic look silly on numerous occasions.
Okay. So, Nix, your time starts now.
Torres might walk so Suarez can run, but when the student becomes the master, I think that is in and of itself what happened. That Liverpool just asked Liverpool fans. I mean, they don't even care that he was racist or that he bit people. He was that much of a Liverpool legend in the few years that he was there. I mean, he came from where he was scoring 40 goals a season, came to Liverpool, and I was one of his biggest critics. He used to miss a lot of chances, but then he had, arguably the greatest season in Premier League history. I mean, I put someone like Ronaldo above him, but that is a great season alone to drag that Liverpool team to nearly a title. It's only because of Slippy G why he didn't get it. Of course he wanted to leave. He nearly went for 40 million plus 1, but he knew better and bigger, and he went to Barcelona and part of the greatest triple front 3 of all club history in MSN. When there's no S, we've seen what happens.
Okay. All right, so Devil,
we would have won the league if we had signed him as well. Yeah.
Okay, so Devil, your 30 seconds starts now.
Fernando Torres was part of the greatest international side of all times. Winning the World Cup, winning European Championships with Spain. He was integral, scored important goals for that side as well. So he's got the medals to back up his profile. You know, he's won it at the biggest stage. Yeah, he was integral for Chelsea as well and against Barcelona. I know that wasn't his prime, but he still did it. When they needed him, he came up big, scored important goals, got them towards that Champions League final as well.
All right, 30 seconds for Nix starts now.
I said he went to Barcelona, part of the biggest best front three probably in club history. Neymar went and they struggled in Champions League, but they were still firing in the league. Everyone said, yeah, Messi's carrying them, but it's now that Suarez is injured. They're having to try and loan players. We might even call it a furlough loan if we're talking about COVID and the government helping, because that's what Barcelona are having to do, to try and replace Suarez. They've got people like Dembele, they can't do it. Even got rid of Coutinho because they know he couldn't really do it. Antoine Griezmann's come in and he can't do it. Suarez is probably the greatest striker at his prime in his generation.
All right. Okay. All right. So boom. So guys in live chats, put it down. Put it down to who you think won that. Put it down who you think won that, man. So last 2 rounds now. Final 2 rounds. So Devil, you have peak Buffon. And Nix, you have Manuel Neuer. So therefore, you have peak Buffon, and Nix, you have Manuel Neuer. So I'll just give you a few seconds just to think of your arguments. Your seconds just to think of your argument. All right. So Nix, your 1 minute starts now.
Manuel Neuer burst into the scene in 2011 as Man United were going on a run to the Champions League final. They played Schalke, lowly Schalke in the Champions League quarters, I believe it was. Could have been, I think it was the quarters. And he put in a man-of-the-match performance so much that the great Sir Alex wanted to sign him. And he had a choice between Man United, who were the best side in England at the time, and Bayern Munich, who were, of course, the best side in Germany. And he went to the best side in Germany. And he revolutionized a position. He became the sweeper keeper of all sweeper keepers. He was eccentric, yes, but he was brilliant with his hand, with his feet. He was domineering and dominating in the goal, in the air. And I think whenever any player, any striker faces him on a 1-on-1 or penalty, you know that the odds are in your favor. And it took a lot of keepers, whether it's the hair.
Done. All right, done. So, Devil, your minute starts now.
Living legend, Gianluigi Buffon made his debut at 17 for Parma side. That was one of the best in Italy in the 90s. You're talking about players as Nesta, Cannavaro, Veron, Vieri, Crespo. He was amongst that. The most expensive goalkeeper in world football when he made his move to Juventus, and that lasted for almost 20 years. At Juventus, he won everything. He was a rock. He was a rock for Italy and a rock for his club. Even when Juventus were relegated due to the Max Fitchen scandal, he stayed. He's loyal. He won more, came up, won even more. Captain fantastic. And he will go down in history as one of the best goalkeepers ever. He's in everyone's top 3 top goalkeepers of all time. If he's not, then you're wrong.
All right, Nix, 30 seconds to respond now.
You know the saying, you have retire a hero, live long enough to become a villain. I think Buffon has lived long enough to become a villain because he was at fault for that night in Paris. You know what I'm talking about. I ain't back in Paris. I'm back in Monaco today. And Buffon was at fault for that. Manuel Neuer, yeah, he's not as good as he was. But as I said, you've seen keepers come up and come down. David De Gea's up, down. Ter Stegen's up at the moment. He might go down. Manuel Neuer is just there. He's always been there. And he was there at one point. He's won a World Cup, 2014. He was a key part of that.
All right, okay. All right, Devil, your 30 seconds starts now.
You want to talk about mistakes? Let's talk about Neuer in the World Cup against Korea. I think Neuer's got many more mistakes in his locker than what Buffon has, and Buffon's been playing for almost 30 years. I think Buffon has led teams to victory as a goalkeeper. He's a leader, even though he is a goalkeeper. He's done it as part of some of the meanest defenses. If you look at his clean sheets records in Serie A, I imagine he's got the most. Minutes played in Serie A, he's up there amongst the most. Consistency is something he's had for 20 odd years.
All right. Okay. Boom. Done. Okay. So how many rounds have we done? Is it 3?
Or 4. That was 4.
That was the 4th round. So this is the final round now.
Yeah.
All right. So guys, put it in here. So final round. Okay. Now this is going to be a good one. Final round right now. Final round.
Don't give me someone I don't like.
Knicks, you have Andy Cole. Devil, you have Ian Wright.
I knew he was going to give me a right.
So Knicks, Andy Cole, Devil, Ian Wright. So who went first the last time?
Knicks did.
Okay, so give you time to think of your argument. All right, Devil, your time starts now.
Ian Wright, Arsenal legend, was Arsenal's top goal scorer of all time for several years before Thierry Henry came and took it from him. All-round nice guy. Everyone loves Ian Wright. He's everyone's uncle. One of the most talented footballers in terms of both feet. It doesn't matter, left, right foot. He had pace. He was not the tallest, but he was very great. He was very good in the air. Scored big goals coming through at Crystal Palace. He scored against Manchester United in the FA Cup semi-final. After coming off the bench, I think he was about 7 seconds after he came off the bench, first touch, banged it, lovely goal. If you look at his back catalogue of goals, it's all sorts of goals, some very, very good goals. He scored from any angle. He was a menace. He played with his heart, left everything out on the field, and is an Arsenal legend because of that.
Okay. So, Knicks, your 1 minute starts now.
Listen, both of these guys, strikers, are hugely underrated by the England managers. Both of them should have much more caps. Andy Cole should have more caps than Ian Wright. He was and is one of the greatest Premier League strikers of all time. He's got over 180 goals. And you know what? He only took one penalty. Imagine if he took penalties as well. He would be well into the 200s. One of the greatest strikers of all time. Wrongly scarred with a brush of he misses too many chances. I mean, Sir Ferguson wouldn't have bought him if he missed too many chances. He scored 40 goals in the season for Newcastle, came to Man United and made arguably, if not one of the best strike partnerships of all time, leading Man United to a treble in 1999, scoring one of the great goals against Barcelona in that Champions League campaign. He is a Man United legend, a Premier League legend, undoubtedly.
All right, 30 seconds. Devil starts now.
Yep, Ian Wright was the Golden Boot winner in the Premier League for Crystal Palace in a season where he led Crystal Palace to finish in third, which is, when you think about it, it's ridiculous. But Crystal Palace did finish third, I believe it was in 91 or 92. And also, we all loved him in I'm a Celebrity.
All right, 30 seconds.
Andy Cole, yeah, I mean, he didn't have the ignominy of playing for Crystal Palace, bigger players, bigger clubs, but he is a man of the people. Have you seen what the work he's doing now with all the trouble he's going through? And he's reaching out to the likes of, the YouTube community out there. You talk about everyone's uncle. I call him Uncle Andy or Uncle Andrew if he prefers to be known. It's up to him, wherever he wants in it. If Ferguson rates you, I rate you. I rate Uncle Ian as well. I have my issues, but I rate him nonetheless. But I have to go to Andy, man.
Okay, cool. So that's for
and Ian Wright kicked up Schmeichel that time, and it was funny.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. Did Schmeichel say something racist to him or something?
Yeah,
apparently.
I'm not, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, apparently. All right, so guys, put it. So those were the 5 rounds. Put who you won, whether it was 5-0, 3-2, 2-1, 2-4, and everything.
No, that Andy Cole for that. Come on, Andy Cole and Ian Wright. Even as an Arsenal fan, you have to know that Andy Cole achieved more in his career.
No, but
Andy Cole.
It's all about the quality of the argument because trust me, Ian Wright's goal scoring and his goal scoring acumen was huge, and also you bringing us what he was doing at Crystal Palace as well is also huge. So, basically, there is a strong argument, and also you can also say as well, like look at the manager that Andy Cole played under, where he fully flourished, and how many people really remember Andy Cole as much as how many people remember Ian Wright at Arsenal.
Yeah.
So
that's mainly Glenn Hoddle. Glenn Hoddle done him dirty, man.
Okay. So before round off, so any final words, man? What's your plans for the week? How are you going to tackle this yet another week of self-quarantine? Any parting words for the universe?
Stay your ass at home.
I was gonna say, sorry, we just need to say that we've got some news while we're here. There's two news that Boris has gone into intensive care.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so that's a bit mad. And worse than that, Black the Ripper has passed away.
No way.
Rapper, UK rapper,
Wow.
Samson.
Was that due to COVID or?
Is that through virus or?
I'm not sure. I can find out. He's in Montserrat at the moment. He was staying there. I'm not sure exactly what's
And he's a gooner as well, man.
nice, man.
He's an Arsenal fan as well.
Yeah, like the Ripper.
Okay, so the intensive care thing, is that just like breaking news?
That's breaking. I broke maybe about half an hour into the show or so.
Oh shit!
Damn.
So it's serious, man. It's serious.
Yeah, stay your ass at home, man. Stay at home.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
Situation is, I'm not sure how he passed, but he passed nonetheless. So it's still sad.
Yeah.
damn.
Not to end up on a sour note, innit? But
Yeah, I mean,
That's life, man. It's life.
yeah, basically echoing the words of Devil. If you can stay out, and again, obviously, you have to shout out obviously the nurse and people who have to go to work and everything. But if you don't have to go to work, you know, it's like, you know, this stuff. It's real out there, man. It's real out there. All right, guys, man. Thank you very much for everything, and we'll see you guys next week, man. Peace. Peace out.